Welcome everyone. This is Ellen Bauman coming to you from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and I'm here with my friend Rod Evans. Hi Rod.
Hey Ellen, how you doing?
Good, how are you doing?
Great.
Great. Thank you for agreeing to sit down and have a little conversation and share with us about life over the past 11 months or so. To begin, can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about what you do.
Sure, I'm a portrait photographer from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Been doing it for about 28 years, and we just specialize in photographing people.
So given the reality of the pandemic and that you work with people as a business and as a creator, how have you survived with the restrictions, especially early on?
Well, that's a great question because early on we were completely paralyzed. The phone wasn't ringing. We didn't know what we could or couldn't do. We didn't understand what the rules were. We were just living in fear. So we pretty much nosedived in the first few months. Nothing was happening. It was crickets basically in the beginning. And frankly, we were concerned whether we were going to keep our business or not at all.
How did you move through that? I know that we talked a little bit and you had mentioned briefly a community of people and that how significant that was to you as a business person and as an individual. Can you elaborate a little bit and share with us what that community has meant to you?
Yeah, in our industry, it's really unique. We're very open to helping each other. And I don't know if all professions are like that, but our profession definitely is like that. That there's so many other people out there in your industry, that have these communities to help each other out. But this was unlike any other time. Most of the times when we connect with each other, it just doesn't have the openness and the honesty, let's say, about it like this time did, because we were all in the same boat. It's a slow time of year, and now it's completely dead. So we were all in the situation trying to figure out, how do we navigate it? How do we get through it? And so we spent hours and days online and Zoom calls, of course, talking about options and ideas and really being honest and open with each other, navigating through it. And so it was so helpful to have a community of people to brainstorm ideas and walk through the process, and somebody could test it in their marketplace, you could test it in their marketplace, and come back with different results and see what was happening. So we did a lot of adapting, obviously, during that time, things that we've never considered doing before. So a lot of sessions on location, a lot of virtual appointments, virtual sales, delivering orders via dropping them off on their porch, all that kind of stuff. That actually, from all of that, we've taken a lot of those same things and kept them in our business, because it's been a convenience for people and it hasn't hindered how our business is run. So it's actually helped and kind of pushed through some things. And there's some things from COVID that we're keeping as our business model, even now, that have happened. Even though a lot of things may have opened up, we're still continuing to keep a lot of those same principles.
I know that it's a high value of yours to really connect with the people that you're photographing. In what ways was that different, given the distance that you need to maintain when you're photographing? How did that impact your relationship with your clients?
Well, because now, normally I'd be like in your face, kind of, and adjusting and working and doing things like that, so I had to do a lot of that through verbal communication instead of coming up and fixing a collar or moving a hair out of place or whatever. I did that all from a distance. I had to verbally communicate things, and also by doing a lot of what we call mirror posing. So I pose and then they mirror what I do. So that allows us to continue to do that distance. And again, I'm keeping, because that saves time in the session is what it does. But also, because we have more time now, and this has given us more time, two things have happened. One is that it kind of slows everything down and allows me to think more about telling their story from a unique perspective versus, before this, it was all about, really about how many sessions can you do. I was just at a conference a month before this happened with a bunch of photographers, and all we were talking about was, more sessions, more money, more people, moving forward, go faster, harder all the time. You know what I mean? Well, then a month later, they just went to a standstill. And because of that, now you have to change your business model to something completely different and adapt, and be more deliberate, and and be more unique and tell a story. And it doesn't have to be about more. What I found out from all of this is that it's really about quality, and about quality of life, quality of time, and spending the time with the people, but having time in your own life too, to create unique images.
So let's talk a little bit about that. I know in a conversation that we had, something had opened up in your life that is a little bit a result of the pandemic, but also a personal circumstance in your life. And can you share a little bit about how that has really moved you to a greater creativity?
Yes, through dark times, it's amazing how much beauty can be seen. In my own personal life, my wife has had some major health issues, and the only time she ever got out of the home was either to go to the hospital or to the doctor. That was it, or inside the house. And I'm like, this is no quality of life. You need to see something other than the inside of these four walls. So we started doing these drives, Saturday, Sunday drives on the weekends, and just no GPS, no destination, no anything in mind, just a full tank of gas and get in the car and just start heading a direction. And then whenever we saw anything, like out of the corner of our eye, or a beautiful scene, or a riverbed, or a sign for, a historical sign, or a sign for a park, or a trail, or a cemetery, I don't know, anything that was just like caught your eye, you know what I mean? That you'd normally just be zipping by everything, you just slow down and start discovering. And from that, I found some incredible locations. And when it was nice out, we would get out, of course, walk around and so forth to look at the area. And I found some new locations, some new places that are basically my backyard that I didn't even know existed, and now have allowed me to create images for my clients that are just really, honestly, epic. Like, these locations do not look like anything anyone else has ever seen, that I've even seen myself, but I don't know, I don't get too philosophical, but sometimes it's kind of how God works, right? Is like we think we've got a plan. We're gonna move forward, straight line, here we go. And he's trying to talk to us, from these edges, these little signs, these little whispers from the historical sign, park sign, beautiful scene or whatever, and we're like this and not looking at those things. And during this COVID time, it's allowed me to slow down and kind of see those signs, and to go down those paths, and to go to explore those, and not have to be moving this direction super fast and just missing all these things that are around us. So it's actually turned out to be a really beautiful thing. And it's been a beautiful thing for the connection of the two of us for a relationship. But from an artist standpoint, obviously, too, it's been a great addition to my art, my craft.
I want to thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing the details of your life in these circumstances. And you really point out some incredibly beautiful things, the slowing down and the observing what's around you, and how that has really just seems to have impacted both you as a professional, but also in your personal life. And you have a lot to teach with how you've lived these last 11 months. And I want to thank you for joining us, and thank you for sharing these details of your life. And I look forward to seeing you soon.
Great. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you, Rod.